Okay, so Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. It's now out, people. And, you know what I mean? Your boy went and took a look. It's once again directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who co-wrote the film with Erik Jendresen and Bruce Geller. The film is produced by Tom Cruise, Christopher McQuarrie, executive produced by Susan E. Novick, Don Granger, Tommy Gormley, Dana Goldberg, David Ellison, Chris Brock, with Gina Halas co-producing, and line production from Pierre-Henry Bourche. Max Arge and Alfie Godfrey took care of the music. Cinematography is Fraser Taggart. Eddie Hamilton edits the piece. Right? Mindy Marin is casting. We've got Gary Freeman on production design. Art direction is Anthony Caron DeLeon. Matt Gray, Matt Sharp, Cecilia Van Straten, and Tom Weaving. Raffaella Giovanetti is set decoration, with Jill Taylor on costume design. Okay, so hair and makeup and all of that jazz. We have Kirsten Weller, Christopher Sokol, Sam Smart, Sam Shook, Nora Ofora, DeAndre Michael, Waldo Mason, Christian Mallet, Chris Lyons, Taylor Jewell, Lisa Isles, Nicola Isles, or Lays, Charlie Hounslow, Lauren Hawes, Amy Bryan, Sarah Blair, and Lucy Allen. So, who is in the film? Well, obviously, Ethan Hunt is back. So that's Tom Cruise. We've got his boys, right? Luther Stickwell, Ving Rhames, Benji Dunn, Simon Pegg. There is Grace, played by Hayley Atwell. She's back. Esai Morales is back as Gabriel. Pom Klementieff as Paris. Henry Chesney as Kittredge. Sterling, played by Holt McConaughey. We've got Walters, played by Janet McAteer. Oh, can't forget old Erica Sloane. Angela Bassett doing her thing. Captain Bledsoe, played by Tramell Tillman. Sloane's son is played by Kwambena Anza. We have got General Sidney, played by Nick Offerman. There's Admiral Neely, played by Hannah Waddington. Briggs, played by Shea Wiggum. Degas, played by Greg Tarzan Davis. Richard, played by Charles Fennell. Angstrom, played by Mark Gatiss. William Dunlop, played by Ralph Saxon. His wife, Tapeza, played by Lucy Togaguk. Dellinger, played by Carrie Hughes. Katie O'Brien's in it as Kodiak. And Stephen Oyung as Peels. Right, we've got Thomas Pardes as Hagar. Paul Bullion as Shirley. That's probably our main group, right? We could go on and on. The gist of the film: Ethan Hunt and the IMF team continue their search for the terrifying AI known as the Entity, which has infiltrated intelligence networks all over the globe. with the world's governments and a mysterious ghost from Ethan's past on their trail. Joined by new allies and armed with the means to shut the entity down for good, Hunt is in a race against time to prevent the world as we know it from changing forever. So that's the film, people. So yeah, it starts off, right? And we've got kind of a breakdown of the entity, right? Some info on the entity and everything like that, and what it does, what the possibility of it is. And then we go to Erica Sloane, right? She's well, we got Ethan. We see him sit down and put a videotape, right? A videotape into a machine. I don't know where he found somewhere playing Betamax, but he did. And it's Erica Sloane, right? The president talking to Ethan. And in this conversation, we're getting a load of flashbacks on the screen from previous missions, right? Which is, you'd be like, oh, that time when he ran across that thing. That time when he ran across the other thing. Oh, yeah, he runs a lot, old Eves. You know what I mean? But we get all these little flashbacks that kind of make you go, oh, yeah, that film was pretty good. Yeah, I remember that scene. So that's our kind of lead into the film and, our reminder of what is on the line, right? What's on the line? What's going down? And I'll say this, right? Because, Dead Reckoning, the last film, Mission 7. There's these big set pieces. There's explosions and chases, and Ethan runs again. I wanted to like it, but I felt there was so many things going down and things that made absolutely no sense, right? Like, why would someone do that? You know what I mean? Like, or why wouldn't you? Like, this thing is happening, so why aren't you anticipating this other thing, right? There was a lot of that I felt in the last one. So it was just a bit like, hey, like, I see what they're doing. They're setting it up, right? But it just felt a bit all over the place to me. But you had to see this one, right? You had to see Final Reckoning, because that's it. That's the end of the franchise. I mean, there's so many ways they could continue in this iteration if they don't want to reboot. But we're being sold this is the end. So you had to go see it. And I'll say this right now. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot better than the previous. You know what I mean? It's, it's fun. There's things that go down that you're just like, yeah, that's all, the chances of that thing happening, what are we doing? But I thought it was more cohesive than the previous. We get flashbacks, right? We get flashbacks to, oh God, I forget what number it was. It may have been number 4. Right? We get flashback to number 1. A kind of a big one that I remembered had been talked about, right? Even before the last film came out, before 7, that we were going to do this thing and bring this person. I was like, oh, yeah, because, right, that's kind of cool. And they did that. And you're like, and then you get this little speech, right? Because it's just like, I fucked your life up. And it's just like, hey, you know what? And it's just like, yeah. I thought they handled that well. You know what I mean? So you have all of these things. And also, we get some little red herrings thrown in there. right? We see people ask for things and do things, and you're like, ooh, does that mean they're now going to, you know? But maybe it doesn't, right? So I thought, that was handled pretty well, There's all these things handled not too bad, right? Now, there's going to be things where you're just like, okay, but, right? Like, we do get some face swapping shenanigans happening, which the thing with the face swap is fine, right? Fine, you change the face. What about body type, height? There's those things that you're just like, you're telling me that you're going to be a perfect match, right? No. So there's no time to then add the extra. So no one's going, I swear you're taller, Sid, right? Or Sam, yesterday you couldn't have lost a lot of, 20 pounds in a day. What's that? No one's calling that shit, right? But again, it's just, it's those things and you're just like, all right, fine. We will let that go. We will let that go. But then you've got the things that work, right? And I think the chemistry between, our main characters it's legit, it's believable, right? So having Ethan, Luther, Benji, great, all of that, you buy those relationships, and that's important, right? You buy those things. You buy the Paris situation now. All of those things work. I mean, Angela Bassett, right? She kills it. Like, she's great as Sloane. That tension. The music works. It's very, in places, it's rousing when it needs to be, right? It's emotional. It hits those things, so it makes you kind of, without being overtly dude-ish, right? The music really helps build these scenes up, right? So all of that works, right? The camera work is great, especially in there's certain sequences where you're just like, oh man, how did they film? That's like, whoa, The submarine stuff, it's a little bit dark, right? A little bit dark. Some bits I didn't quite catch, but it again, it still works. Still works. And then dealing with the issues that are found there, all of that. It's building, right? Again, you get those kind of things where you're just like, hold on. So by chance, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. I don't know if that's a real thing, if that's feasible, right? Can you fully? But I think by that point, you know what these films are, right? That's the big thing. You know what these films are, and you have to just give yourself to the goofy. You have to give yourself to that, right? It's not a funny film, but there was one part where I just, man, this shit happens. I'm laughing my head off. It did seem I was the only person laughing. Not sure people appreciated it, but it was funny, man. It was funny, and I like that. But this film, it hits all the bases that need to be hit for this type of film, right? The stunts, people holding on to things for dear life when in reality you're like, yo, their grip is not letting them do that, They ain't gonna be able to do that. But hey, it works. It works. You know? Now, I will say, trying to find someone in Trafalgar Square is not... Trafalgar Square, when that's heaving, jeez. So, yeah, being able to lock eyes from a dude and be like, oh, there's Thingy. I don't know about that, but I can't see for shit. So maybe if you've got good eyesight, you can do that shit. But I know I've been lost in Trafalgar Square, which is an embarrassing thing to actually say. And Leicester Square, fuck. But, you know, it's a film. It's a film. Yeah, certain things aren't a thing, like tube stations and distances from place to place. But it's a film. And it's goofy, right? It's rambunctious. It's big. It's loud. It's brash. But, yeah. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is fun. It keeps you gripped. Because I thought it's nearly 3 hours. And I was just like, oh, man. Because I did think the last film felt long. Right? It did feel long. Now, yes, in this, there's probably bits you could have shaved off and all of that, but it didn't. I wasn't in that same situation where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, how much time is left? Boy, I've been here for 4 hours. No, this one seemed to kind of, you know, it's very kinetic in what it's doing. It's moving. You know what I mean? So yeah, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning does what needs to be done and does it well. Does it right? Last film in a franchise, in a story arc. Sometimes these things go wrong, but I don't think it did here. You know, you're not going to be putting it on the best films ever list, but for closure, for enjoyment, for action and thrill, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Hey, salute you peoples. You did a good job. You nailed the landing. This was this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It's in the cinema, people. Go see if Ethan and the crew can, you know what I mean, fulfill this final mission. This will not self-destruct, so don't worry. You can re-listen to this fucking review whenever you want, people. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.